Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the supernatural, the paranormal, and hidden, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and we are going to be looking at probably the silliest topic we've ever done on this show. And not that this is a serious show. I talk about cryptids, right? Not that we're serious. By the way, I moved my microphone onto this side to see if that helps with the echoiness. So you all let me know. I'm just trying some different things. This room is a little bit, my position in this room is a little bit more full. Usually I keep my back to the wall, but that's okay. Y'all can see my whole room now. You can see where I live. Oh, good morning, Sandy. Virtual hug for warmth. John Hudson, virtual hugs for warmth. Yeah. Just turned up the heat. You got a sweater on? I know you got some styling sweaters, girl. I'm distracted by my side chat again. Look at me. You guys, stop it. I'm trying to do a show. It's all your fault, not mine. No. My Hive is wonderful. I just love talking to you guys so much that I just get distracted. It's like, what was I talking about again? Yes, today we're doing the silliest topic that we've ever done. I know it. It has to be, right? We're talking about cursed Furbies on Cryptic Corner. Yes, I am literally talking about, for the first episode of the holiday season, cursed Furbies. Cursed Furbies. So there's a lot of different folklore and legends around Furbies. We're definitely not going to get through them all. Some of them are actually, more plausible and realistic, and some of them are like super out there. A lot of people say that their Furby did this and their Furby did that, and there's some weird ones. Let's get silly, AR says. Yes, I need some silly in my life. Things have been too freaking serious for the last month. November has been too freaking serious. I've been hiding out in the pool all this time. Making content elsewhere if you want to go see that. But, yeah. I don't know if I have links. I do have a Spider-Gwen link tree I could drop. If anybody's interested. I'll drop that later on in this show maybe. Or add it to bug bots. Yes. Anyway, distracted again. Distracted by my own nonsense this time. It wasn't anybody's fault. Cryptic Creeper, thank you. Yes, you are a Cryptic Creeper. Have you seen those Furbies that people modify? There's like 6 foot long. I live in a house with one. Ben, if you're still here, Greg, we have a long Furby. Almost wish I had borrowed Greg to put around my shoulders like a boa while I did this show. But, oh my gosh, Greg. Yes, we have a long Furby that lives with us. His name is Greg. And he's fantastic. He's going to climb our Christmas tree in December. Yeah, instead of Elf on a Shelf, we're going to have a Furby climbing our Christmas tree. It's going to be wild. So what are people saying about Furbies and what they do? Like, what do Furbies allegedly, what crimes do Furbies commit that people are so horrified about? I don't know. Maybe maybe it's like a Child's Play thing where they're like cursed in the toy shop or something, but like the new Child's Play. Let's hear what these Just the Nobodies guy says about it. This is really short. It's just going to give you the first rundown of one of these theories. So,
if you ever see a Furby in a random spot, you should never pick it up.
Like the toy Furby?
Yeah, so there's a legend that you should never pick up an abandoned Furby because one day 2 kids found a Furby in the woods outside their grandparents' house and it was super dirty and super beat up. So they decided to take it home and clean it. But after cleaning it, they noticed it had red eyes, which was super unusual. So they decided to put batteries in it. And once they put batteries in it, it started speaking like how a Furby does. Like you don't really know what it's saying.
Right, it always used to make some kind of weird sound.
Yeah, but right right after this, it then started to speak English, and it was only repeating the phrase, "Put me back."
What?
Yeah, then the grandma came into the room and asked them where they got the Furby, and when she found out it was from the woods, she took it and ran it back out into the woods, and she told the kids that if you ever see a Furby in a random spot, you should never pick it up.
Like the toy Furby?
Yeah, so there's a legend that you should never pick up an abandoned Furby because...
All right, yeah, and then it loops like that. But yes, Furbies, not furries. Ooh, cursed furries. Haunted furry. I don't know if you could do haunted furries. I guess that'd be like a demonic possession sort of thing. I don't know. Yes, but it's furries. We talk more about furries on the transpositions than any trans network should have to, but it's because they use furry arguments against trans people. It's kind of silly. They're like, oh, well, if you accept the transes, you have to accept that the furries are actually animals or something stupid like that. It's like, no, they're cartoon animals. They're cartoon animals. Get it right. In the same way that a clown is actually a clown, or a mime is a mime, or a drag queen is a queen. It's the same concept with furries. It's a costume and character they're playing. Get over yourself, weirdos. I guess they may be talking about like Therian people, which we haven't talked about here, but you know, I was actually when I was into the more into the occult stuff, I was kind of into, yeah, furries deserve their own channel. Well, there is the Fluffy Atheist. We went to help celebrate their 500 subscribers. Remember the Fluffy Atheist, Corgi, I think it is Corby. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, but anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. So here's most amazing top 10s doing an urban legend list. Look at this. This isn't even a real Furby. This is just something with a plastic piece over its face. Are there Furby furries? That sounds like a quest for Google that I dare not do live.
Those creepy gremlin looking toys. I must admit, I did have one and it kind of scared me, can't lie. But apparently I'm not the only one. There are thousands of others who were also scared of Furby.
Coursey, thank you, Ember. Yes, we both went over there and said happy 500, Coursey. Speaking of people hitting milestones, did you all? I know it's been a little bit, but I guess gotta give another shout out to Maya for hitting that 1K. Woot woot. Yeah. It's been a few weeks ago, but my whole life's been in kind of a whirlwind, and it's just now starting to get more chill. This one's missing a lash. I feel it, girl. The wind picks up, and my lash goes flying, and then I have to decide whether... Well, the first thing I automatically do is pull off my other lash, because the last thing I want to do is look like this Furby.
Because there are multiple subreddits devoted to creepy Furby experiences, some of which I'll be discussing today. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Furby urban legends. But before we begin, let me know in the comments below what your favorite toy was from your childhood. Starting off this countdown, we have the Killer. Now, I don't know if this one is
let's see. Start a political discussion at Thanksgiving dinner. You'll save tons of money on Christmas gifts. Tune in for more holiday tips. Well, Thanksgiving dinner's already over. We did a Friendsgiving here. It was just me and BB and Ben. It was really nice. We worked our butts off in the kitchen all morning. Then we ate and crashed. It was pretty glorious. And then we got up and ate some more on Friday. It was delicious food. Thank you so much, BB, for the delicious food. That's a shout out to the chef. So if you want to see cooking stuff, subscribe to the Calamity Kitchen on Twitch with Ben and BB have that channel. I'm just the kitchen fairy. I bounce around, open cans, and throw away trash and stuff while we work. or why they work on doing the actual food and prep and telling you what the ingredients are. So go check that out.
Super popular urban legend, but it was one that haunted me during my childhood. Well, when I was younger, it was said that if you owned a Furby, you always had to be nice to it. If you tossed it around without care or
Drinking
you were rude
ASMR.
to it, then it could hurt you. It said that at night, if you leave your batteries in the Furbies, then they would come alive and kill you in your sleep. Because of that legend, I was terrified of my purple little Furby. I had it locked down in my basement closet for years. Moving on to number 9.
All right, so let's talk about that first. So that's like, that's the crux of it, right? People were creeped out by them because they're AI, like early AI, or they're like algorithm based, that they respond to different stuff and they slowly learn to talk over the time that you have them. They go from speaking something called Furbish, which is a language that actually has words that all have meaning and stuff, like hungry and all that. But you get you can get little dictionaries for them. I don't remember if they came with them or not. I was kind of young when Furbies hit big. Well, I wasn't that young. I was 98, so I would have been, well, I was 15. So maybe I was a little old to get on the Furby train. But my sister had a Furby. I remember that. Her boyfriend got her a Furby for Christmas. And we all got to mess around with it a little bit. Maya's at 1.3K. Yeah. Maya has left us in the dust. Congratulations, Bad Science Sunday. I knew you could do it. I'm cooking right now for a Friendsgiving today. Even turned my purple Pope hat into a chef's hat. Sweet.
We have the batteryless Furby. So this legend states that Furbies are so powerful that they can operate for days without their batteries. Yeah. Apparently, they retain enough power after their batteries are removed that it can continue living, which is absolutely crazy. One person claims that her Furby didn't have any batteries in it, but then when she dropped it, it started beeping and spazzing. She even claims that she had to put it in her freezer in her garage.
I think that's the biggest problem with Furbies, is that they gave themselves like 1.03. Oh well, you'll get there. If you, I didn't go confirm that. I believe it. I believe Bad Science Sunday will get to 1.5K. If you're not there, if you're not there by the end of the year, I'll be surprised. Your show is doing amazing. I love looking at your numbers grow every week. Bad Science Sunday, and y'all are hilarious. It's great. It's a great form of. If you're not subscribed, someone drop the link. Is Bugbot here? Bugbot. I think if you just do Maya, maybe it'll drop. Let me see. So anybody here is not subscribed to Bad Science or to my Atkinson's channel, because we got Bad Science Sunday over there. Bugbot wants to know if you believe in Bigfoot, though. Do you? Let me know. That's not a good question for this week, Bugbot. Why do you? Someone needs to keep up with your questions a little better, I think. That someone being me. Let's see. I'm just going to delete it. Or just turn that one off, because I ain't got time to mess with it right now. No siree. Stop saying that, Bugbot. All right.
Because it wouldn't stop screeching and beeping for weeks. In our 8th spot, we have the live soul. So this next legend states that Furbies have a mind of their own. In fact, it was thought that at night they come alive. Why is this kind of true? Because when I was a kid, I would have a Furby on my shelf in my closet, and I swear in the middle of the night, it would start talking and moving by itself. So people believe that Furbies have the ability to turn on and off when they want to, suggesting that they may have a soul. In our 7th spot,
They don't have a soul. I think they have a little processor inside of them that retains a charge to save their memory if the batteries die. Because they have to remember where they were. Like, you don't want to have to restart it from speaking Furbish to learning English again every time the battery dies. So it had a little power reservoir to store like a memory. And sometimes the voltage from that could be induced to cause the Furby to have a reaction. Light, and it has a light sensor on its forehead. You see, like on the Furbies when they show a picture of them, they have a little triangle sort of shaped light sensor on their forehead. So people put them in closets or something like that, and they'd be quiet for years. But one day they open the closet when the sun's coming through the window just the right way to hit that sensor, and all of a sudden their Furby's blinking and talking after years or months or whatever in the closet.
We have the Scream. Legend goes that there were a bunch of Furbies that people thought were possessed or something. Multiple people claim that when their Furby's batteries were on the verge of dying, the Furby would start to scream. It would scream as if they were getting tortured or murdered, which is pretty scary considering that the batteries were dying, so it kind of seemed like they were dying as well. And it's
While people who suggest souls are real at all are, well, I wouldn't say stupid, but gullible. I don't know. They don't have as much credulity as I do, because I've seen no evidence for a soul existing in any way, shape, or form, whether in a human or in a Furby. And actually, Ghost in the Machines is kind of a popular, at this time, right around the turn of the century, Ghost in the Machines was kind of a popular theme. Like you had the Matrix, and there were a few different movies and shows and stuff that dealt with like supernatural linking with the advent of the internet, because it was like a weird time for the internet. It's like, where's this going to go? Are we going to be like living in virtual reality and like Ready Player One style? We didn't know. But all these little advances like Furbies, that was the future of toys until it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, we never can quite tell what's actually going to take hold. We, like, at the time we figured everybody was going to have like virtual robot pets and stuff in the future. Like by now that we'd all have different pet robots and stuff like that. Now there are some cool robots, like the Boston Dynamics is doing amazing things with robotics, and you can get those robotic dogs. There's actually somebody who built a robotic Furby dog. We might have to take a peek at that.
not just one person that has reported this. Multiple other people claim that their Furby would do the same thing. So, what do you guys think? Malfunctioned Furby or tortured soul? Coming in at number 6, we have the evil Furby. Furbies are said to be fun and lovable toys. You can play with them and they will just giggle and murmur along with you. But apparently, there is a way to aggravate your Furbies and turn them evil. So, legend goes that if you overfeed your Furby or...
Now, to be clear, this is only the 2012 Furbies. You can overfeed them and cause them to have like a panic attack. The computer doesn't know what to do. Their eyes turn all stroby and
or treat it poorly, then it will turn evil. There's even a WikiHow out there on how to turn your Furby evil, but I suggest not following it. It says that you have to put your finger in your Furby's mouth if you trust that it won't bite it off. But anyways, you put your finger in the Furby's mouth and then you have to press down on its tongue as if you're feeding it. You have to keep your finger in there for a minute straight. Your Furby will start to cry and complain, but don't stop. Eventually, it will turn evil. It will start to make weird noises and its eyes will turn all white. Its brows will turn down all slanted and evil looking. But I don't suggest doing this, just in case it wants revenge after. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the hijacking. Back in the 90s, legend goes that Furbies have the power to hijack aircrafts. That's right, airlines believed that Furbies could interfere with their equipment and...
Well, but they came up with this new technology that interacts with its environment, right? A lot of people were freaked out by it. Schools, hospitals, the NSA, I think you couldn't have them in different like federal buildings and state buildings and stuff like that because they're considered basically like a recording device. Like you couldn't take a Furby to court with you because they'd be like, oh, you can't record the court proceedings.
Cause a plane to crash. So travelers were told not to use their laptops, CD players, or Furbies on board. In fact, for a while, the pre-takeoff announcement was turn off your laptops, Game Boys, other electronic devices, and don't play with your Furbies.
Yeah, I've had stuff like that happen too, Captive Desk Dave. Good morning, Hail Bigfoot. My son had a wrestling action figure that talked in the middle of the night. It took me several nights to figure out what it was. It landed in the toy chest just right to press its button. Yeah, we've had that happen before. It spooked the kids out, and it's like, oh, it's just... Ours was like, I think it was a light sensor thing. Let's see. Yeah, some of us think that in the future everyone will own robots. Some of us think that Toy Story is a documentary, yeah, where the toys have souls. The game Mother makes it clear how demon-possessed Furbies truly are. There was like, I guess they made a horror movie about like a horror comedy about Furbies. I remember watching videos about some chap that turned a bunch of Furbies into musical instruments. I've seen the one where there's all kinds of cursed Furbies. This bitch put her real face on this video. So Furbies could do a 9/11. Yes, Furbies could do could join the Taliban.
Like, could you imagine death by a Furby? Like every time they laugh or roll their eyes, the plane would just dip down. Man, those things may be more powerful than we thought. Coming in at number 4, we have the sabotage. So not only was it thought that Furbies could cause plane crashes, but it was also thought that they could mess with medical equipment.
Oh yeah,
in hospitals.
I guess I could have waited.
Furbies were actually banned in some wards of hospitals in Scotland because legend goes that the toy's electromagnetic waves could mess with medical devices. So this toy could be very deadly if used in a hospital. Imagine.
Did that ever pan out though? Did anybody ever actually have problems with any of the equipment or like a pacemaker or anything? I had a Pee Wee Herman doll that talked. You pull this string and it talked. And it had a giant toothbrush too. Y'all want some side boob? Check that out. I am braless and flawless this morning because I just didn't have it in me. That's one of my jammies.
A doctor undergoing a very precise procedure and then Furby just starts messing with the medical equipment, that would be terrifying. Death by Furby. In our third
Furby killed Grandpa. Like, half the people who I know who had a Furby, their Furby's name was Coco. Was every Furby named Coco? What's up with that? Like, everybody's like, oh, my Furby's name was Coco. It's like, of course it was.
third spot, we have the real fur. So this next urban legend was that Furbies were made out of real cat or dog fur. I mean, I don't know about your Furby's fur, but mine felt really acrylic. But people even created a fake Humane Society press release saying that Furby's fur samples tested positive for feline.
I kind of want to do... Oh my gosh. This is so evil. Okay, you guys know how I'm into taxidermy? I want... What? You could strip down a Furby to just the mechanical parts of it. And you could put it in real fur. You could even give, like, realistic parts to it. You like with the old Furbies, you could put... Ooh, this is diabolical. Oh my gosh, I better stop. Oh, because you could put teeth in it. You could put like realistic eyes on it. I got it in my head. I can see it. Oh, you could even add like antlers, or you can make like a chimera of it, but with real taxidermy stuff. Yikes. Fleshlight Furby. Oh my god. I thought I was diabolical. Oh, human flesh Furby. Okay, sorry. My mind's in the... Oh, you did say fleshlight. Fleshlight skin. Anyway, yeah, either way, both of our minds are in the gutter, AR. Both same page, me and you. But My Furby is still living and humbled, growing weed. Well, good for him. I'm glad he landed on his feet. A lot of Furbies just spent the rest of their lives in dark closets and basements and stuff. But yeah, do not put those words in the same sentence. Furby. Oh my goodness. Now the wheels are turning there.
And canine DNA. Some say that they skinned stray animals from pounds or animals that were just put down. They then dyed the furs different colors. As a result, the makers of Furby were being accused of animal abuse. In our second spot, we have the possessed Furby. This next legend is...
They actually had to put out a press release about that to say, no, it's acrylic, it's not real animal fur. But PETA never really had a complaint about it anyway. That was all fabricated. The possessed Furby. Are you guys ready?
It's about a boy who got a Furby for Christmas that was possessed by an evil Japanese spirit. So back in December of 1998, a 5-year-old boy received a bootleg Furby as a gift. Since it wasn't an authentic Furby, he named it Furbo. Now, he loved Furbo, but apparently Furbo started to develop an attitude problem. His voice got deeper, he would keep his eyes open and stare even when he was sleeping, and sometimes his eyes...
That sounds like a mechanical issue, though. I mean, I'm going to give her a chance to explain what she's going to say next, but right now, just the eyes staying open when they're supposed to close, there's little gear things inside there that can get really... they got tiny, tiny teeth. They're little white gears, about as big around as a end of a pen, really tiny, that turn those eyes so that they can go up and down when it responds to certain stimulus, usually that light sensor on the forehead.
Eyes would go completely black. At first, the family just thought it was because it was an off-brand Furby and maybe it had more glitches. But then things started to get really strange. At one point, the Furby started talking in Japanese, and then it got really attached to the boy. It constantly wanted him to feed, rock, and burp him. Eventually, the Furby...
That is what a Furby does, though. Like the next level of Tamagotchi, right? You feed them and take care of them. You spoil and take care of them. You baby your Furby. Why does my chair feel so much lower than usual? That's what you get one for. So it's something you're supposed to take care of. That's all. That's literally all it does. Is demand things from you, demand interaction from you.
Was creeping them out so much that they had to get rid of him. When the boy was old enough to put the pieces together, he believes that his Furby was possessed by an evil ancient Japanese spirit that wanted his soul. And in our number one spot, we have the Spy. Back in the night,
because it spoke Japanese, I would say, if I had to speculate, I would say that it spoke Japanese because it was built for a Japanese market, but since they bought it bootlegged, it was shipped to America and sold. Yeah.
it was thought that Furby could spy on you. In fact, on January 13th, 1999, the National Security Agency of the United States banned Furbies from entering NSA's property. They believed that Furbies could record, repeat, and leak their private conversations. Therefore, they were scared their confidential information would be compromised, and so they banned Furbies. Even after being assured that Furbies...
That is very reasonable to ban anything that's recording, that may be recording information.
Don't have a built-in recording device, they still never lifted this ban. Now, it wasn't just the NSA that was concerned. Tons of parents were scared of this toy too. They believed the Furbies had built-in cameras that were recording and watching their kids. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout-out portion. I'll be sharing...
Alright, I'm not doing the comment shout-out portion with you there, top 10 scary Furby urban legend lady. Something Ivan, right? What was her name? What was your name? Lindsay Ivan. Thank you for the Furby stories. Alright. This is supposed to be creepy too. Let's have a look.
When I was a kid, my parents got me a Furby. I must have been pretty young. They were first released in 1998, so I think I was around 6 or 7 when I got mine. Its fur was snow white. I really, really loved my Furby, and it loved me.
Morning,
My cousin had a
Trees.
Furby too. Hers was black and white piebald. We'd play with them together. We had so much fun. When I would visit my grandparents, I'd take my Furby with me. We could never activate its sleep mode properly, where it would go into a deep sleep state and wouldn't respond to noise and movement. As a result of this, it would not stop talking whenever we drive anywhere with it, so Mum would always make me put it in the boot of our car under a blanket. I used to keep all my toys in a cupboard in
Yeah, I think they're like the light sensor is very, and that's it, right? Like on the forehead, right there. It's like a light sensor.
my bedroom. I guess one day I just put my Furby away in there and just never took it out again. It just sat there, gathering dust for years. I completely forgot I even had it.
That's some straight up Toy Story stuff right there, Maya. There you go. People thinking Toy Story's a documentary.
When I was 16, my family moved houses. In preparation, Dad asked me to sort through all my old toys to find anything that might still have had batteries inside them. That's when I found my old Furby. It was sitting dormant in the back of my cupboard. I reached in to grab it.
Doom, doom, doom.
As soon as I lifted it up, its eyes shot open. They rolled into the back of its head. And then it started screaming. I'll never forget how it sounded. It was
That sounds like a harmonica run through a filter. Just someone blasted on a single note on a harmonica and then run through like a distortion filter.
like TV static and nails down a chalkboard. I didn't even need to call Dad. He heard the noise down the hallway as I rushed it out of my room.
It's like a smoke alarm going off. I'd be like, yeah, let me make that stop.
Yeah, Dad was good with this sort of thing. Battery acid's probably leaked, he said. He took it into the laundry and got out a screwdriver, opened up the battery pack, and sure enough, it had leaked. So long ago that it had dried up to form a thin crust around the pads and the batteries themselves. He carefully removed the batteries, but
Yeah, that's a good tip for like anything that you store away for like seasonally or anything too. Take batteries out of your Christmas ornaments and Christmas decorations or Halloween decorations and stuff before you put them away for the season, because they will do this. They'll get that corrosion on it and it'll ruin the battery port, and you'll either have to dispose of them or wire up a new battery port if you know how.
it kept screaming. It wasn't until he got out an old toothbrush to try and scrub out some of the dried up acid that it actually stopped.
And it's because they have that memory bank storage power reserve inside that's supposed to help them remember where they were in their development, so that they don't have to start over every time you reset it.
Didn't seem phased at all, but Dad was a calm, serious bloke, you know. We decided it would be best to just chuck the thing away, as the battery pack was too damaged to reasonably give it away to a charity store. Usually I kept my door open at night.
Is this Greg's origin story?
Mum preferred it that way because if I accidentally bumped the lock and it couldn't be opened from the other side. I felt more restless than usual. I decided to lock my door in case it might help. When I woke up, there were marks on the bottom of my door on the outside, like something had scratched and clawed and bit at the wood. After I finished breakfast, Mum asked me to put some rubbish out. When I opened up the bin, my Furby was gone.
I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I'll just pretend that Greg is that same Furby and someone took him and experimented on him, and then somehow he ended up in Dr. Ben's laboratory. How very haunting. All right, now we have Stephanie Strange, my haunted experience, my haunted Furby experience, a true paranormal story.
Hello everybody, my name is Stephanie Strange and I talk about the paranormal, strange, pop culture. I'm also a psychic medium and I do paranormal investigations. So if you like that stuff, make sure to subscribe to me and hit that bell for all notifications so you can get...
I used to do paranormal investigations too, Stephanie. We should vibe. Yeah.
all of my spooky story times and any spooky things to fulfill your spooky cravings. Now, with that being said, today I'm going to be talking about a scary Furby story. So if you like that stuff, and if you remember owning a Furby and you had a scary experience, then you're in for a treat. Now, the lovable Furbies of the 90s were such a fad. I was too poor to afford one. I know. But, it makes sense. My parents were immigrants. They were working so hard. We lived in an apartment with 7 other adults. It was tough living in LA, and imagine being an immigrant and not finding a job that could, pay you enough to live. So I totally understand, and I don't...
Aw, I sort of feel bad for you, Stephanie. Growing up as an immigrant and trying to start a life in the U.S. is rough.
There was no hard feelings there, because after reading some of these scary stories, I'm like, I guess I might have dodged a bullet. All right, so let's get on with today's spooky tale. Sarah had always been...
I was like, why'd the volume suddenly drop? It was like her with her music in the background while she was telling that story.
...in supernatural. She enjoyed reading ghost stories and watching horror movies, but she never expected to encounter something so chilling in her own bedroom. It all started when Sarah's family went on vacation and they decided to buy her a Furby as a toy gift. What a treat! An expensive toy for her for the year, she thought. Sarah was initially thrilled by the prospect of owning a Furby, but she was unaware of the dreadful horrors it would soon unleash. Soon after that, Sarah brought the Furby home. Strange things began to happen in her bedroom. Objects would move on their own. For example, one night she was getting ready to go to bed, and as she was...
I will tell you what, Hive, if you want to send me a haunted Furby or cursed Furby, I will love it and keep it forever. It'll just go on the shelf behind me right here, and you all will see it as part of the show moving forward. I do have a Mothman and some moths and stuff, but I don't have a Furby. I'm sad.
In the closet door, she saw the door slam shut. How could such a force do that? Like, what happened? She thought. Okay, she started to think. I have no windows open. The vents are not on near this area. Crap, now I have to investigate. Oh, this is so uncomfortable. So she got closer. And
Morning, Logan.
There was nothing there. Okay, maybe it's the wind. I'm going to have to tell myself this, otherwise I won't be able to sleep, and my parents are not going to like it when I go to their room and tell them that I had a nightmare. They're not going to believe
What if it was a critter? Could have been a critter, right? Like moving around in the dark. It doesn't have to be the Furby.
me. So with that, she slept on with the lights on. Now at around 3 a.m., she heard strange whispering noises. And at first, she couldn't make out what she was hearing. And so she was thinking, what the heck? What is that? She looked over and felt the whispers come from the Furby. With that, she panicked. Oh God, no, I'm not dealing with this. She ran out of the room and slept with her parents that night. The next day, Sarah disregarded all of this incident as her imagination. But as days turned into weeks...
But the critter could also activate a Furby too. Let's not forget about that. I'm just saying, my daughter was stashing snacks in her room when we lived in this old farmhouse, right? And the mice were getting in and going up there into her secret stash and making noises in her closet. That happens. You live in a farmhouse, but it was spooking her out. And once we figured out what it was fine. But she thought her toys were alive or whatever. I don't know, but...
She noticed that the room's temperature seemed to drop and that the Furby's eyes would start to glow red when no one was near it. Sarah started to feel a growing sense of unease, as though something ominous was lurking within her room.
Lucky is alive from the Hive fan. Lucky is the sweetie. Hopefully he's walking a little better now. Love you, Sandy.
One day, Sarah approached the Furby cautiously and reached out to touch it. And as soon as she did, she was thrown back by the feeling that something had tugged her hair. She was petrified. Never in her life had she encountered anything like this. She began to speculate that her Furby could be haunted by some sort of malevolent entity. And as much as she tried to sleep on her own, the nightmares began to shortly happen thereafter. Sarah would wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, her heart racing so fast, she thought it would just burst right out of her chest. She saw apparitions in her dreams that would disappear as soon as she woke up.
Sounds like maybe she was priming her. This is my opinion. Like maybe she primed her brain to think something supernatural was going to happen. Had experience with noises. Alex O'Connor is celebrating 1 million subs. Oh, way to go, Alex. And that's from Captive Desk. But like you can prime yourself to experience anything that happens as, oh, it had to be something paranormal. Like we did, wasn't that long ago where we did the living doll videos, and you know, you get some kind of vibes off people. They're like, oh, they want their toy to be possessed or haunted because it, I don't know, it triggers something in your brain, a assurance of the unknown, that there may be something beyond.
Scared to death. But if her parents saw her trash the toy that was so expensive and that she so desperately wanted, she would be grounded and she would not be getting any new toys for that remaining year. So the next night, Sarah awoke to the sound of a voice coming from her Furby. She couldn't make out the words at first, but as she listened closely, she started to hear it.
You can't leave me. Did you hear me?
You can't leave me. She tried to move, but she realized she was paralyzed. She was paralyzed with fear, and she tried to move, but her body wouldn't respond.
Ooh, guess what that is? That's sleep paralysis in a hypnopompic state. Yes. Are you about to be hagged by your own Furby?
Suddenly, she saw the apparitions that were in her dreams now lurking by the Furby.
You are!
Shadow people. And, of course, she couldn't move, so she just gave up and closed her eyes. Sarah woke up the next morning feeling shooken up, which, rightfully so, who wouldn't? Now, Sarah couldn't take it.
Sleep paralysis is and I tell this story like every 3 weeks on the show, but I suffered from sleep paralysis when I did overnight shifts for when I was younger for work. They were quite an experience. You know, you wake up, are you really awake? But it's hard to say. You're like, because your brain's still dreaming, but your eyes and sensory perception's awake. And your brain's still trying to build images from your dream state, so it tries to build images over what's going on around you, and it's freaky, and it'll have consistency because you wake up in your dark bedroom, unable to move. You're gonna start getting creeped out, and then your brain's gonna start building weird images. And mine was the hag, which is a common one. It's just like a little creature that comes and sits on you or leans on your chest. It just stood by my bedside and leaned on my chest. But that's what sleep paralysis is all about. I'm sorry if you've heard that story a million times. I know I tell it all the time, but it keeps coming up whenever I cover these alleged supernatural occurrences.
She decided to go to a psychic medium to ask for advice. When she consulted with a specialist, she was told that the Furby was housing a spirit of a
That was from the Rob Zombie Halloween movie, that clip was. Still was.
Circumstances. She had taken the liking to the Furby and felt that if she was close to the Furby, she would also become close to Sarah. Now, Sarah learned that the only way to deal with the situation was try to set boundaries and tell the spirit to leave the Furby alone. But despite these attempts, it didn't work. So with that, she put
because spirits aren't real. Yeah, sorry. I hate to burst your bubble. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't know for a fact that there's no such thing as spirit. I've seen no evidence for spirit or soul or any of that stuff at all, anywhere. just my lived experience says that those things don't exist.
Pouch next to the Furby, hoping that it wouldn't roam anywhere in her room or anywhere near the house. She also wrote a note that says, "Do not touch, do not acknowledge." But with that, she still felt so uneasy. She even put the Furby outside of her room and didn't sleep with it in her room ever again. But despite her efforts, she would still deal with sleep paralysis and hear whispers.
You acknowledge that you know what it was, sleep paralysis? You acknowledge that. Great. Step 1, acknowledgement. Step 2 is acceptance. So we know what was causing the visitations.
One night she heard this. "Sarah, why don't you come visit?" "Sarah, why don't you come visit?" She learned that this was not going to stop, and she learned that there was a danger happening and lurking and manifesting, and she was not going to wait around to find out what would happen. So she decided to stay away from this Furby, but she knew that it couldn't be in her house. So with that, she went to another paranormal expert to get a second opinion, and also with the intention of leaving the Furby with the paranormal expert. So she learned from this expert that was taking a liking to her Furby was not a child, as it was disguising itself. In fact, it was something much more not human. And
It looks like the Scream mask painted white, like all the black parts painted white. But I think this is like a statue somewhere, maybe.
But it really did take a very unhealthy liking to Sarah. Now this has shaken her core, and so she left it with that paranormal expert, hoping that it wouldn't follow her home, and it seemed to do the job. Now she had learned her lesson, and she was determined to stay clear of any haunted toys. She would never forget this experience, and she would hope.
I love haunted toys. Send them to me. If you have haunted toys, I will take them.
And no one else would ever have to face such horror. So who knows whatever happened to this Furby. But as a psychic medium, I will say she did the right thing by going to an expert and a specialist. And I'm so glad Sarah was able.
As a psychic medium. Frog in my throat when someone claims to be a psychic medium. It's one thing for other people to be like, "Oh, you seem to have like a empathic gift or whatever," but it's another thing for a person to say, "Oh, I have secret powers that you don't have, and I'm going to tell you how things are if you pay me."
To get some peace, because that is a very scary thing, and I don't think people talk enough about PTSD and hauntings. It's definitely a real thing. Now I have my haunted doll here named Johnny. I've talked to Johnny, and Johnny and I have really great relationship. It's very mutual and respectful, and he might have said begin. That's funny, he said begin. I don't think we got that on camera, but that is so fascinating. He never haunts my dreams. He never does anything awful like that. Now he does interact with.
Are you talking about the Mickey Mouse? You didn't name him Mickey. You named him Johnny. I guess that's the ghost attached to the Mickey Mouse. Okay.
My equipment. The first night I had him, I did see him visit me in my dreams, but it was never scary. So yeah, that's all I have to say. If you guys have any questions regarding haunted toys, or if you've had any scary experiences with Furbies, let me know down below.
Oh yeah, we've done 2 episodes shopping for haunted dolls on eBay. Absolutely. I actually looked on eBay to see if I could find any haunted Furbies for sale, and there weren't any. No haunted Furbies for Bree. You have to send me a real one, like one from your attic.
And until next time, you guys, stay strange.
I don't need to be told that. I can stay strange without. Alright, where were we now? Okay, so we just did. Alright, just like mostly we got shorter stuff now.
For the dead. In 2012, a young girl was given the dark history behind 90s toys. There are multiple accounts of Furbies speaking for the dead. In 2012, a young girl was given the Furby of her recently deceased cousin. One night, the Furby woke up by itself and said,
"Let me sleep."
It continued to stare at the little girl for the whole night, but the next morning, it got worse. The little girl told her mom what happened. And the mom gave her this strange look.
Brittany!
The girl asked her mom what was wrong, and her mom said, "Those were your cousin's last words." Like, follow, and share for more strange facts.
That's not a fact. You don't call those strange facts. That's a urban legend. That's folklore. That's a tale, not facts. And a Furby saying, "Let me sleep," is not out of the question. They're programmed to say all kinds of stuff. Oh my goodness. These people, I swear. What do we got here? Okay, we got a possessed demonic Furby that's real, guys. Let's do it. Act normal would be harder. Yes, I know. Okay. It's going to take the batteries out for us and then be shocked that it has a power reserve. I'm like, what? A power reserve? How? Because he didn't want to lose his memory, silly boy. Or girl, I don't know. I can't tell by the hand. Hey, AR, Maya, and Native Atheist. Hey, Al Trucker, good morning. We're doing haunted Furbies this morning. Or haunted, possessed, and cursed Furbies. They're all over the place. We're just going to call this episode Dark Furby. Yeah. You better do something, Furby. What was that? Don't tell me that was supposed to be natural. I don't believe you. Do something, Furby. Come on, that's just... There we go. It's got the low battery voice. Okay. Do it. I was hoping it was going to do something creepier. Alright, so that was that one. And then the last one we have is not in English, so we'll have to read a little bit. But this is the Greek Orthodox priest saying Furbies are the Antichrist. It's crazy.
Προσέξτε τι θα σας πω τώρα και τι θα δείτε. Αυτή η εταιρεία η οποία εκμεταλλεύεται τα παιδιά όλου του κόσμου, τα παιδάκια, τα μικρά τα παιδάκια, εφεύρε ένα αρκουδάκι με μάτια, με χείλη και που μιλά. Του μιλάς και σου απαντά.
Gives him answers.
Ερωτά.
It asks questions and it talks. Can't have that. And when it went on sale in America, the people who govern the nation saw it and said, this product should be withdrawn and destroyed because it's destroying the nation. Because this object is within 15 microchips, which speak. He's holding his crucifix. It speaks. It does not want to make it talk because I have no need to. it's a Furby. But beware, do not buy this for your children, otherwise they will be demonized. There's a whole devil in here. Within this, there's a whole devil. Look at it carefully. Soon it will display on television. Don't buy it. To whom I have... Oh, you who are here, beware. You who are here, beware. What's his name? Furby. That's his name. This, if you touch it, it will talk. Oh no. Not a toy that talks. And beware, there's a whole hell inside this thing. When stupid parents see it speak, they will say, I'll buy it for my children. And then the children will be demonized. Those children will be demonized. Please watch it carefully. One whole devil inside there. Yeah. Stay away from this demon, this new kind of demon. So far, been produced 40 million of this and gave them worldwide. And now, especially the Greeks who are fools, they will go and buy it for their kids. They should not deprive anything from their children, huh? To have something to play, and this will speak to them. Do you know what comes out? Bangs come out of this. Bangs. Ooh, bangs. Like the devil can compose phrases. And there is also fornication inside, and it says, come here and do this and that. Ask for food and stuff. Pay attention, this thing can talk. I don't want to hear it. I heard it once. I don't want to hear it again. And you should not hear it too. It speaks, listens, and repeats what you say. And please look at it and let other people know. So far, fortunately, this is only... We'll see how many people bought this Satan, this whole demon of hell. Be careful. That's all I have to say, and it was enough. Enough Christ came down from the sky to save us from this Antichrist. From Furby. The Antichrist is into this demon and this thing. That whoever touched his children will be demonized. Enough with it. Take care. God bless you. Oh my gosh. Taking care of the sheep. And you should be careful and save yourself. So, good grief. Yes. So, Furbies are demonic. Or evil or possessed or something. Something's wrong with Furbies. Something spooky about them. Spooky Furbies. Furbeezelbub. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. Chatty Cathy is Lilith. Yeah, and Teddy Ruxpin is Bale. This is a grown man afraid of a doll. Absolutely. And not only is he afraid of a doll, he's telling everybody else to be afraid of dolls too. Clearly possessed by Satan, yes. Furby has a backup battery to maintain its settings. Yeah, Good morning. We went over that, and that's what freaked people out, because they like, I took the batteries out. It's like it has a reservoir battery to store its memory for it, so it doesn't have to reset to start speaking Furbish all over again from the beginning. In a land cloaked with velvet darkness, in a time where the sun forgot to rise, lies the haunted truth. Furby, freaky and weird. True. And adorable. I love the demonic ones better. I like the old ones with the eyelashes and the big blinky eyes. Not the computer eye ones or digital eye ones. Yeah, we deal with demons and ghost science has no power here. Never understood Furbies, says native atheist. Yeah, grown man afraid of dolls. So I repeat my Atkinson pointed out. Everything is the devil to you, mama. She showed me her boobies and I like them too. Yeah, that's Bobby Boucher. Octopus with no friends watches Waterboy. One entire devil. What a bargain. I know. I usually have to like sell your soul for a devil, but now you get to have it. And purchase it right from the store. I'd be impressed if this was Gandalf that was saying that about the Furby. I would actually believe Gandalf if Gandalf was like, hey, Furbies are possessed. Yeah, if this man ever saw Teddy Ruxpin, his head would explode. Agreed. One entire hell, too. An entire hell and a devil. So you get a devil and a hell with each Furby purchased. Like, that's quite the deal. You know how much a devil, eternity in hell, usually costs your soul, but not anymore. Oh yeah, I used to put black metal cassettes in Teddy. Oh, did I lose my spot? No. Okay, here we are. This is exactly like when my parents, Christian church, have an entire sermon about how Harry Potter was devilish and demonic. Now they love J.K. Rowling because J.K. Rowling is against the transes. So, yay, J.K. Rowling. Suddenly, 20, 30 years later, the woman on the left is distraught. The young lady is thinking, what's wrong with you? Yeah, let me pull it back up. Shouldn't. Like, you got these people here, like, not impressed with what he's got to say here. The woman on the left is distraught, and the young lady is thinking, yeah, this lady is like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? What is he talking about? This lady is like, oh my god, it's a demon doll. So, there's two types of people in Greece. I haven't seen Behe around in a while. Anyone know if she's okay? I don't know. And then crucified that Furby later that day. Hey, friends. Hey, Robin. Good to see you. We're wrapping up Cryptic Corner, but we got more stuff to come, so stick around. Yeah, for real, Brie. As usual, the religious embrace the fascist. Absolutely. Once you like say, hey, I hate minorities, then they're like, okay, hold on. Let's hear her out. Let's see what she has to say. She's like, I named one of my characters Cho Chang, which is like nonsense and made up of two different last names from two different ethnic groups. Yeah. JK. All right, so that's been Cryptic Corner for this morning. Hello, Mark. Good morning. Good evening, I think it is. Yeah. Anyway, don't go anywhere, but I got to close that Cryptic Corner real quick, and then we're going to get into some weirdness. So remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time. Whew. Okay, live from the Hive, people. Don't go anywhere, like I said. We are just at the first segment of 3 for the show, so there's more to come. And yeah, there was a few things I wanted to mention. The Godless Granny stream on the 5th. So it's on Krampus night. I'm actually going to be over there. Hang out with Godless Granny. It's been forever since I've been on Kelly, so it should be fun. We got a lot of catching up to do. A lot has changed since we last talked, so it'll be fun to see how things have panned out for for her, both her and Robin. I've been wondering about Robin too. Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. I said good evening. It's way past evening. It's more. I guess it is good morning there technically. Technically, Mark, it's good morning. All right, so I got a good intermission here, and then we're gonna pop right into the topic of ley lines, which is what won the poll last week for what we are gonna get weird with. So I couldn't find the one about the auto accidents though, so I found ones about energy portals and all kinds of crazy nonsense, and I think that you will like it. But I will see you over there in just a minute, okay?